Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this new session of how to improve your health and well-being. My name is Sophie Anderson. I'm a wellness coach, and it's an honor to have you here. I would like you to thank yourself and be so proud of yourself for being here, because as my friend and teacher said this morning, it's very anti-cultural to make time for ourselves and for our own personal development, to invest time, to invest money in just looking after ourselves. So well done to you. I promise to deliver a lot of value in a very short amount of time. And today I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I am recording this workshop for you, the Gimoy, Walubara, Yidinji, and Yarraganji people. So I live in the Cairns region, feel extremely privileged. I'm very grateful for the elders, past and present, and I want to pay my respects to them. So very quickly about this workshop series, it's all performed online. It's 6 sessions. This is number 2, between 15 and 30 minutes, and it's bite-sized insights into how to improve your health and well-being, and everything is actionable. They're all things that you can do after the session. I recommend that you have a pen and a notebook ready, perhaps a notebook that you keep especially for this series, so you can take notes and progress and action what we're talking about. The recording is available in your Wellness Compass and also on my Facebook page and events. So the outcome of today's session, which is on mastering the mind, is to empower yourselves to take control. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. There will always be challenges in our lives. What can we do to feel better, to improve our health, our well-being? How can we make the time? So it's empowering ourselves, taking control of our lives. I want you to have a tool to be able to troubleshoot and solve the situations that don't serve you with a framework. Okay, eventually it'll get automatic, but I want to give you a tool that you can plug and play and improve your life. And as a bonus at the end, I will give you a few self-regulation techniques to reduce stress, and the kind of stress that stops us from thinking clearly. So if we want to put into practice a framework like this, we need to be in that kind of calm, focused mind. So I will help you with some self-regulation techniques. So now, grabbing your pen and a paper, or just reflecting, you might even want to close your eyes. Think about just one aspect of your health and your well-being, which is often described as a synonym to like happiness. Okay, so your fulfillment in life, your joy in life, or your health, which again can be your physical health, it can be your mental health, social health, emotional health, spiritual health. Okay, so whatever comes to you, what is one aspect of your health or your well-being that you wish was better? So I want you to write in one sentence. There's no right or wrong here. Right? And maybe you want to grab 2 pieces of paper. What's the current situation? How would you describe it? And what's the desired situation? So how do you want things to be? So you might want to think about a pattern, something that keeps cycling back in your life. You find yourself in a similar pattern very often. Maybe there's a lot of, I'm trying to be good, maybe with exercise, maybe with eating, maybe, you go on diets a lot and then fall through, sign up to the gym and you stop going. Maybe it's something like, I just can't find the motivation. If to improve your health and well-being, your current situation is you watch too much TV, you find that you watch too much TV, then the desired situation is I want to do have some healthy activities in the evening instead, but you can't find the motivation. Maybe it's just that you don't have time for yourself, and health and well-being is just always pushed to the back burner. So just think of one situation to start with that will be able to troubleshoot. And if you're watching the recording, you can pause here. So now that you have your current situation, I'd like to share what I call the life model. It's based in cognitive behavioral therapy. I didn't make this up. And it is the cycle ultimately of how we get the life that we get. So the cues and the facts are the things that happen in our life without much of our control. They are undeniable, they're just objective, they're facts, they're what happens. The thought is the story, it's the self-talk, the mental chatter that we attach to the fact, the story, the event. When we have a certain thought, whether we acknowledge it or not, it triggers an emotion or feeling. So the thought is often the tricky one when we start working with this model. We're like, I don't know, like she said that and I felt like crap, right? What's the thought? Well, the thought could be, she made me feel undervalued or it was disrespectful. Okay, so the thought is what triggered the feeling. There is a thought in there. And then obviously once we have a certain feeling, it has somatic effect on our body, and it will give us the energy, the willingness, the motivation, the inspiration to take action or to not take action. And then we get our results. So this cycle goes on and on all day in all situations. And this is what we're going to troubleshoot today. So to start with, I would like you can draw this, or you can use something that looks a little bit more like this self-coaching tool that I have. It's the same thing, by the way, but it's just mapped down so you can fill it up. So this is the fact or the cue. This is just what's happening. This is your thought about what's happened. This is your feeling, your action, and your results. So try to draw something like that. Don't need to be an artist. And at the top of the page, write current. And then maybe draw something similar. And at the top of the page, write desired. Okay, so you see what we're doing. We're going to map the current situation and write as much as you can in those boxes of what's happening. And then we're going to map the desired situation and what you want to happen. And I'll give you a couple examples after that. But you'll see how you can replace current feelings, thoughts, or actions to then create a whole new cycle. So I'll give you a couple minutes just to write down the current situation and the desired situation. If you're watching the recording, you can pause it here. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. If you haven't finished writing down the elements of your personal situation, I invite you to pause the recording now because I will give you a couple of examples. So I'll share my screen again, actually. It might be easier if you can see my screen. So let's think about a lot of my clients say that they can't find the motivation to change something. So either to start being social again, to make new friends, or to get up in the morning and to start exercising, or to not turn the TV on, or to turn the TV off in the evening and do something else, go for a walk, or do something more healthy. So I'm just going to take the example of getting up in the morning and doing something for their health and well-being. So the current situation is, well, the alarm goes off. That's the cue, right? So the current situation is their alarm goes off at 6 and they just turn it off and go back to sleep. And then their child wakes them up at 6:30. And the result is like, well, they're disappointed in themselves because they missed out on having time on their own again and in improving their health and well-being. So they're frustrated and they feel a bit tired during the day. So you might start to resonate with that kind of example maybe, or similar. So if I was to map this situation, the cue would be, it's 6 o'clock, the alarm goes off. That's That's undeniable. That's the fact. That's what happens. Now let's try to go like this. This is a tough one because if I'm not in the situation, but I have been in the past, and my thoughts were like, I'm way too comfortable to get up, or it's going to be so cold, or or just a few more minutes, things like that. So the feeling is, it's not necessarily a negative feeling. It's just the feeling of letting go. But if the thought was like, what's the point anyway? I'm going to have a crappy day anyway. I'm in so much, there's so much to do. Then maybe the feeling would be more like disempowerment or discouragement even. But let's stick with the first example. The thought is like, oh, I'm way too comfortable. I'm not getting up. I'm going to go back to sleep. This is too comfortable. So the feeling might be, I don't even have a word for it. Maybe you do, abandonment, or just, it's like that self-care, right? It's like the comfort food. So maybe a feeling of comfort, actually. The action is more like an inaction. It's like just sleeping. And the result, obviously, if that person wanted to improve the situation, the result would be negative. It's like, oh, they beat up on themselves. They're disappointed. They're tired during the day. And all day they're like, oh, I wish I got up and did go for a walk because I have so much more energy. Okay. The desired situation, and this is where the magic happens, is we can do a few things. And this is where you can plug and play. So the circumstances are the same, right? It's the alarm, it's 6 a.m. There's nothing that really changes there. But now what I can say is, I want to be proud of myself. I want to have more energy. I want to improve my health, or maybe I want to lose some weight. So what do I need to do? Well, I need to get up when the alarm goes off. Yeah, that's the action. I need to get up. So maybe that means push the cover. So you can go in detail. I need to push the covers. I need to get dressed, have some water, and that would mean, and then put my shoes on and go for a walk. Yeah, or go on my yoga mat and do some stretches. What kind of feeling would get me to do that? What kind of feeling do I need to have to do this? So now I can relate because I'm good at that, waking up, getting up early. And for me, it's the excitement. It's the feeling of, it's like I feel really empowered. Like, this is my choice and I decide to get up. I feel really empowered. And then what would be the thought that would trigger those emotions? And this is where it gets so personal. But if you've done the first workshop and you've found what your inspiration is, what is really powerful to you, like, why do you want to improve your health and well-being? And if it's because you have a lot of stress and you have a lot on, and you know that if you improve your health and well-being, you'll deal with stress better, well, that's the kind of thought that would be helpful. It would be something like, it would help me all day. I will feel less stressed. I will be, for a lot of us, it's like, oh, I'll be a better mom, right? It's that kind of element of, I'll be more patient, I'll be more loving. Yeah. So here we've mapped the desired situation. And so we've reverse engineered it. The other thing you can do when you get a little bit more experience, I guess, is start with anything else, really. So what do I want to do? Or what do I really have to do? Then you can start with the action, and then you can reverse engineer, or you can start with the thought. What do I need to tell myself when the alarm goes off so that I get up? If you know yourself well, you will know what to tell yourself when the alarm goes off. And be careful not being too mean with yourself. Self-compassion is always something that research supports it as well, that we look after ourselves a lot better when we're kind to ourselves, when we're on our own side. So this is how you plug and play. Sorry, just need a sip. Obviously, with different situations, different levels of complexity, it can get a little bit trickier. And that's where having, the help of a friend or a coach or a psychologist to help you go through that, someone who understands cognitive behavioral therapy, will be really, really helpful. Two things are really important to remember. The first one is you can't change other people. So when you're looking at the result that you want, you can't sort of write, then now my husband does the washing. That's the first example that came to me. I wonder why. No, I'm joking. So the result can't be linked to someone else changing, okay? It can't be all of a sudden that person's kind to me or respectful to me. If that was an example, let me pick a relevant example for health and well-being. If you say, now the result I want is I want my husband to do more chores so I have more time for my health and well-being. The result can't include your husband. I don't recommend it anyway. You need to empower yourself. What's the result? See, it's I have found time. Or now you want them to help. I have found how to delegate kindly or effectively. So it needs to be you. What's the result? I take 10 minutes a day. Start slow, whatever, like just go realistic, but can't be linked to someone else. And the other thing is, you need to be willing to take control. You need to be willing to change things. Okay, so, and that's the difference between I want things to change and I want to change things. So that's how I empower myself. That's how I want you to empower yourself. If you look at the thoughts and like, no, that's not possible. That's not going to be possible. Oh, I don't think I can. Nah, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Pick another example. Okay. So maybe you're not ready to act on this particular situation, but you need to be willing to change things and to take control. So this obviously takes practice. You don't put too much pressure on yourself. You are more than welcome to book a session with me and we'll go through it. I don't do it like that. Like I actually do a coaching session where I ask you questions and then I give you your plan. I give you the desired situation. I'm like, this is what you got to do. This is what came out of the session. Yeah. So now you have your new plan. All right, beautiful people. Before I let you go, I want to keep my promise to give you a few self-regulation, really quick tips. And they're things that you can do pretty much anywhere. And because, there's something like around 20% of the population that has high anxiety. It's huge. A lot of us are going with underlying stress, just like always stressed. And there are things we can do. And some people will say, yeah, stress is healthy. What's been proven is your perception of stress is what makes it good or bad stress, okay? And there's a really good TED Talk by Kelly McGonigal. So you just YouTube or Google that, like Kelly McGonigal TED Talk stress, you'll find it. And she talks about our perception of stress being the culprit ultimately. So the reason why I include this in the session is if you're trying to troubleshoot a situation and you're in a stress mode, you're feeling stressed, it gets really hard because your blood goes to your extremities, you're in fight, flight, freeze mode, and you can't think clearly. So your frontal cortex, the thinking, the clarity mind is not working well, okay? So breath work is a proven way to reduce stress and to deactivate the fight, flight, freeze. So one way to breathe is, and you always want to be sort of comfortable, don't need to close your eyes. Box breathing is one. So you breathe in for 4, the count of 4, you hold it for 4, you breathe out for 4, and you hold empty for 4. And you repeat this 10 times until you feel that you've calmed down, okay? Until your heartbeat, your mind, you will feel clearer. You look at the model, yes, you feel clearer. The other way to deactivate the fight, flight, freeze is to exhale for longer than you inhale. That's really good with people with anxiety and panic attacks. So you have a situation, that can be loud, it doesn't have to. Just make sure you exhale for longer than you inhale. Another way to bring to reduce stress is to bring our 5 senses into the picture. So you can focus on 5 things that you can see, then 4 things that you can touch, and you name them. So it's a mindfulness exercise. Then 3 things that you can, I'm thinking of my 5 senses that you can hear, 2 things that you can, I can't believe I have to think of my 5 senses that you can smell, and then 1 thing that you can taste. I did it. So tune back into your senses, get back into your body. Another really cute thing is the self-hug. So you can just hold your arms like this, or you can go with the back and close your eyes and squeeze. Don't hurt yourself. And just squeeze yourself and breathe slowly. And this is also a research base. I'm feeling calm just doing this self-hug. It's evidence-based. It calms the nervous system. And the last, self-regulation, if you're familiar with clinical EFT, it's just a tap. You don't even need to talk. You can just tap and feel your body relaxing. So I hope that was really helpful to you. Please keep practicing. I know it's really overwhelming, maybe how I threw it, and maybe it wasn't your situation. So don't hesitate to call me, to email me, to book a session so that I can help you troubleshoot your own situation. And or I can just go through the model with you and show you how to use it, because I'd be very grateful if as many people as possible were using this model. Please join my next session, which is next Tuesday again at 12 p.m. live on Zoom. And it's going to be on balance. So how do we balance our life? Like, where do we put all our energy, and where do we want to sort of make it a little bit more balanced so that we feel like our life is fulfilling ultimately. And I had something else slipping my mind. But thank you so much for watching the recording. Lovely to see you here, and I hope to hear from you soon. Take care.